A very good afternoon and warm greetings to one and all present here. Hope everyone is safe and healthy. Starting with a beautiful quote is always worthwhile as it transforms any situation into a lively, motivating, and positive one. Here is a famous quote by Walt Disney that I would like to share in this beautiful day. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. With that being said, I hope I lifted your spreads up. I'm pleased to introduce myself as Ms. Niveda Rajat, Assistant Professor from the Department of Human Resource Management, and I feel ecstatic to take up this lovely task of hosting today's program. It is a matter of immense pride and pleasure to have you all here for a webinar on creating entrepreneurial culture and mindset organized by the Department of Human Resource Management of Dr. M.G.R. Educational and Research Institute University. It's my privilege to extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. Professor Tanushree Gulati, founder, AHSPL, speaker in MDP and FTP. We are really fortunate to have a multi talented personality with us today. Here I have some information to share with you all. There will be a feedback link which will be posted in the YouTube chat box at the end of the session. You all are requested to complete and submit the form before 6 p.m. today to instantly receive your certificates in your registered email. The link will be deactivated after 6 p.m. Dear participants, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the YouTube chat box. I'll bring them up to the presenter, and we will also have time for questions at the end. Heading to the program, may I now call upon an inspiring personality, Dr. R. Jayam, Head of the Department of Human Resource Management, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please hear me? Dear participants, we regret for the technical glitches. Jay ma'am will join soon. Kindly stay tuned. I repeat, dear participants, we regret for the inconvenience caused due to technical problem. HOD ma'am is unable to join now. I request you all to please wait for a minute. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes. Can I proceed? Sorry for the inconvenience caused.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Walt Disney. A very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to one and all. On behalf of the Department of Human Resource Management, Dr. M.G.R. Educational and Research Institute University for a webinar on creating entrepreneurial culture and mindset. Heartfelt gratitude to our founder chancellor, Dr. A.C. Shanmugam, and to our honorable president, Engineer A.C. Sarun Kumar, for their never-ending support and encouragement towards conducting various programs. Warm welcome to all the participants. It's my pleasure to welcome and thank our wonderful, versatile resource person, Dr. Tanushree Gulati, founder, AHSPL, speaker in MDP and FTP. Dr. Tanushree is an HR professional trainer with 21 years of experience in corporate and academic as professional speaker, media panelist, media speaker, and so on. Besides, she has won many awards and she is a speaker in UNICEF project. She has been listed in 51 influential women from the state of Haryana in 2021. Dr. Tanushree is a successful entrepreneur running her own organization with 3 CI rank at international level. We are so happy to have you today with us. Hearty welcome to you, ma'am. Pleasure is mine To thank our Joint Registrar, Mr. Prabhu, Dean Administration, Dr. A.R. Arunachalam, and Dean Academics, Dr. K. Sendil Kumar, for their continuous encouragement and support. Welcome and thanks to all the executives, deans, HODs, faculty members, and all others for your motivation and support to us in all the ways. Welcome and thanks to a wonderful person, Mr. Ganesh Babu, who is always behind the screen, supporting us in all, making all the program a grand success. Entrepreneurship is not only a mindset, but a skill set. Entrepreneurs are those people who believe in their dreams and make them happen. Whatever work we are doing in our life, we all have an entrepreneur in us. But some of us become so big that other ordinary people cannot even imagine. It's all because of the mindset we are having. In short, the whole game is just of our mindset. If we think that we can achieve what we believe in, then we will conquer it for sure. Freedom, empowerment, and creativity of thoughts are the cornerstones of a robust entrepreneurial culture. Entrepreneurial employees constantly think beyond standard expectations to find new ways to add value to the customer experience. Over time, this pattern of thinking can become ingrained as the corporate culture and hot by the belief that employees should not be afraid to share new ideas that could benefit a customer's well-being. The key implementation of entrepreneurial thinking are the frontline employees who closely work with residents every day. An entrepreneurial culture encourages creativity, responsiveness, and shared ownership by all the members of the team. As a result, when employees see a way to serve clients better, they are encouraged to bring that potential solution to a leadership. In this ever-changing business environment, the competition for talent is fierce. It becomes less common for professionals to stay in the same company for years. Instead, they will switch jobs or careers to find the perfect fit. Paychecks for job titles are not the only motivators for change. Employees want to be part of the organization which does not provide this opportunity. They will look to develop their skills elsewhere. Company culture always plays an essential role in attracting and retaining these talented workers. Organizations with a flexible and entrepreneurial mindset have a competitive advantage over other companies. In this day and age, companies must be able to adapt and react quickly to new opportunities and challenges. Instilling the right culture will help to sustain and grow as a company. Without a company culture, employees will not find any enjoyment towards their work. As a result, organization will experience a decrease in performance and high staff turnover. Many startups have adopted an entrepreneurial culture. Within this environment, employees perceive themselves as entrepreneurs, which allows them to identify opportunities, take calculated risks, and make decisions. The strong sense of ownership and empowerment is the driving force of innovation in this type of company culture. To enrich all of us about how to create entrepreneurial culture and mindset, today we have a very eminent person with us, Dr. Tanushree. Hope this session will enrich all of us. Without taking much time, once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for warmly welcoming each and everyone. Before we commence, I would like to inform our participants that the feedback link will be available at the end of the session, and you are requested to complete and submit the form before 6 p.m. today. Later, the form will be deactivated. Now, it's time to introduce our eminent chief guest for the day, Dr. Professor Tanushree. I request Ms. Ramya, Assistant Professor from the Department of Human Resource Management, to introduce our guest to all of us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Niveda. It's a great privilege to introduce our eminent and honorable chief guest for the day, Dr. Professor Tanushree Gulati. Our speaker is listed in 51 influential women from the state of Haryana in 2021. She is an HR professional providing trainings in management development programs, an educationist and researcher with more than 100 publications in national international journals and books. For 15 years, she is a professional speaker, a regular columnist in English print national newspapers, guest editor and eminent media speaker, media panelist and guest in talk shows, webinars, and on international platform of UNESCO. Our presenter is honored with the Excellence Award in the HR Excellence category 2021 by HR Success Talk. She is also the recipient of Nari Mahima Award in 2021 Haryana. Dr. Tanushree is a regular guest in webinars and is interviewed over numerous news media channels and radio channels, including the most prestigious national pressure Bharati, All India Radio app. Her recent news coverage being broadcasted over vaccination over air in live show from Chandigarh. She is an invited speaker in UNICEF project. Her news coverage and interviews appears in Hindi and English print newspapers. She is an eminent corporate trainer in MTPS and FTPS. With 21 years of work experience in corporate and academia, she is a successful entrepreneur with the organization standing an international ranking by 3 score at 11th best in Faridabad, ranked 58th in Haryana. She is founder of ex-director of AHSPL and honorary director of DTPL. Our presenter has served in HCL, City, British, Telecommunications, and as an author has authored chapters in 4 books. She has been editorial review board of journals and has served as academic board member. She is present member in Scopus, ResearchGate, and Odyssey, and member of many national and international level associations, namely ICA, AMIA, FMA, WEC, FIA, Women with Wings, SJS, Aisha Foundation. She is council member of Science and Technology Division from Haryana in WCCI. She holds master's degree with distinctions in each discipline of management, English and philosophy, and was the recipient of scholarship from West Bengal Board of Higher Secondary Exams. She held the post of Vice President in APG Student Council, New Delhi. She says training, talks, and researches are what she lives for. Many thanks and I humbled and honored for your presence here today, ma'am. On behalf of the department and our university, I wish you all the success in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. It was an outstanding profile. Now, the most awaited time has arrived. Without any further delay, I welcome our guest of honor and speaker for the day, Dr. Professor Tanushree, to proceed with her presentation. Madam, we have no doubt that your experience talk is going to be an eye opener for all the participants today. Thank you so much once again for accepting our invitation and gracing the program with your wonderful presence as our resource person. I cordially invite you to enlighten the audience. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you just so much to Dr. Jem for this connect and of course all authorities of Dr. M.G.R. University here in Chennai for this beautiful invite. And I was just looking at the presentation of the campus. I hope I would have been physically present over there today for the addressing the crowd today. It's a wonderful place and still through digital platform we connect, and I earnestly hope that the audience today, comprising of the students of the university and the faculties and other industrial experts who are associated with the university, you all of us drive home some thought provoking, even if one a person also has some thought provoking idea out of the talk today, or some learning out of it. My job is done and I will feel pretty happy to have delivered an afternoon talk with you all. So, and thank you so much for the invite once again, yet. So, as you see that the topic itself now is into entrepreneurship. We have been talking about entrepreneurship since ages. It's nothing new. But to me, when I have been teaching entrepreneurship for so many years, why I fell in love with this subject was very clear. When I shifted from corporate to academics, I started with the evening batches and the Sunday batches of the executive MBA, the MBA students who did executive MBA courses, and who were already into job or who were already into their business, first generation entrepreneurs, second generation entrepreneurs. So they were already working. And this subject was given to me to teach. It's very close to my heart. And I remember that while I would be teaching the models, we were correlating all the models with the real life experience of the myriads of students. And I fell in love instantly because I could witness the journey of so many students together. And further, the degree was gone, the year was gone, rest was history. But then even now we are connected, and we do share, and we have real good fun, and we smile over the classroom things as to how the models do match in life, real life or not. We would do so many case studies, draw so many inspiration from failure stories to not just success stories, and we would try to correlate. So this is one core of management which is very, very, very clear and very near to my heart. Now, as we proceed, I see that we have spoken enough, for lot of data and information is available over at every place with associations and groups, and even over the internet, to see what schemes are available. And it's we all of us know that for years now, for 2 3 years, since our prime minister has taken a lot of drive, that entrepreneurial setup has to be very strong over here in our country. We are the fifth globally, we are the fifth largest country that's going for best entrepreneurial setup. That is, the startup handholding of the government is very strong. But I think that if you just find out the data even of 2020 or 2021 as to which are the countries which are best countries known for entrepreneurship, still India is a way far off, and we have to learn a lot. We are into the making of lots of entrepreneurs in the process. Now, lots of countries, any guesses for that matter as to which country? You can also use the chat box, and I hope it will become a bit more interactive. If you have any guesses as to which countries are the top most charting, amongst the 10 or amongst the 5 countries in the world for the best entrepreneurs, that breeds the best entrepreneurs or have the maximum, entrepreneurs in their country. Well, I know already you must be knowing that some Asian countries are also there amongst the top 5 world's best countries for entrepreneurship. So, yes, apart from Germany, many of us would be thinking on Germany, but apart from Germany and Switzerland, Sweden, US, of course, UK, we do have China at the topmost as of now. And after China, we also have South Korea ranking at the fifth level. So, not very far off. These are Asian countries, so they almost have the demographics which we also face. And Indian policies these days are too much welcoming for our new generation entrepreneurs, or the youngsters to take a leap, to take a plunge into startups. So if in case you are interested to know, till 10th in the world who are ranking, you would see the countries and you would understand the mindset that goes into these countries. First is Japan, the second is US, and then UK, and then South Korea and Canada. And after Canada, you have Switzerland, Singapore, China, and Sweden. So very soon, I guess, we will also see our names, countries' name etched over here in the list. And because I see the change in the mindset in the youngsters, they are no more afraid of failures. There was a time when calculated steps would be taken, and there has been so much of setbacks. And instead of so much of calculated risk into entrepreneurship, we would see that people would take some time to recover. Few generations back, it would take a bit of time to recover and then again give a new start, or they would absolutely start with a new product or a new idea at all. But this generation, I find I'm directly in touch with them. I just hear that, nothing pulls them down. The spirit is already there. So it's more important to talk about the mindset, because we are already honed into a positive mindset and we need to drive it further with more success stories. So, well, having said that, what do you think brings Japan to the foremost or topping the list of entrepreneurs? Having the best entrepreneurs of the world. It is again the mindset. Japan has a typical mindset. We all know it, that the world tries to understand the mindset of the entrepreneurs over there. That they are very they absolutely try to protect themselves from anything uncertain. Uncertainty is something which they first and foremost try to cover in any of their business thoughts. So it's high time we talk about the positive mindset that fosters the culture of entrepreneurship, because seeing the success stories of entrepreneurs nearby and within our foray, it gives a boost, it gives a moral invitation for others to start with their startup, right? Entrepreneurial mindset is, I think, is all about, it's a certain way of thinking. It is about a way in which you approach challenges and the mistakes. It is about the way that you propel forward, that makes you to propel forward, taking up some calculated risk, and to uh, I absolutely love to give this anecdote. This anecdote is more that while we are here into the speaking into the session, if you all can just relate it to yourself, and if you can just think about yourself and see in which state of mind you are in, whether you have the entrepreneurial spirit in yourself or not, and even if you have, is it because that you don't have anything better offered to do? As of now, lots of job offers are also there in myriads, because of the digitalization that has come in due to COVID. And apart from that, it helps both. It helps into entrepreneurship. It gives an immense scope for you to try and be into the virtual platform and go even for social entrepreneurship. So it is a passion that the entrepreneurs harness, and that makes them take the leap, which is the initial leap. But what happens once the initial journey starts with the daily problems, or you see the daily grinding of life, of an entrepreneurial life, the passion wanes off. So an entrepreneur needs to recharge, needs to be into the right kind of circle. The entrepreneur needs to carry on the mantra of this entrepreneurial mindset throughout. That is what we feel, and that is what we understand, that it's just not the product, it's just not the market, it's not always that you have to be an expert in your field. We all know that entrepreneurs are made. No one is born as an entrepreneur, for sure. And it's not also necessary that you need to have a formal and professional degree to whatever business you are starting with. There are lots and lots of experiences shared, and lots of stories shared, which says if you say that you need to be a professional person, or degrees or your formal learning is coming as a hurdle on the product you want to launch or the service you want to launch, then what about world's richest man, Elon Musk? Isn't it so? Right? Elon Musk is a person who tried to get into every engineering degree possible. I mean to say, he wanted to get into admission, but then he was denied admission. He was never, he could never take a formal degree of engineering. He wanted to study into rocket engineering. And then rest, all of us know what happened when he started with the idea of PayPal with his friends. In the beginning, he started with one computer and stayed in just one room with his own brother. And both the brothers were sharing like one cot. When one would be sleeping, the other would be working on the computer. So the limitation of resources is something that, the hardship is something, the challenges he has faced in life is something that he has made him as solid as a rock. He knows that the confidence comes from those challenges, from confronting those challenges. So we also know that when Elon Musk was working with Tesla, none of the for the launching of the rocket, for that matter, none of the best of the engineers were joining him, because it was much against the common thought process, or the faith, or the mindset of the people to support his initiative, because he was himself also not an engineer. And later, the last, when it was facing, Tesla was facing almost at the verge of bankruptcy, then immediately he took it and he engineered the entire, he was the chief engineer without any formal and he saw that it went a success. So that becomes a success story today. So what is the mantra, what is the secret sauce of the Silicon Valley that we all miss out with? uh, I see that the new generation has picked up a lot on fostering the mindset that makes the entrepreneurship culture too much, welcoming into their, in their minds. Like, it opens new ideas. What is required a lot, if we just want to put down in a cracks, can we say that there are various mindsets to entrepreneurship? It's not necessary that a mix and match of them will do. So now the unique things which we see are, people are not born thinking that they would become an entrepreneur. They work to give to people something, or something different, or they bring some change in their own life, along with that in others life too. And there's a story of creating brand image and brand positioning. So even if you see the Lucasfilms, when it was in late 1970s or in the beginning of 1980s, that Lucasfilms came out with the Star Wars series, and the Star Wars series became just so famous, the trilogy, and after that all the movies, they just went a boom. And it was as late as in 2012 that George Lucas, who believed in building brand, he sold out the Lucasfilms and, of course, the Star Wars franchisee to Disney. Right now, Dr. Jem has been quoting from Walt Disney. So even I was thinking it in mind that now Disney owns it, and he was paid as a a whole sum of 4.5 billion, 4.05 billion, as much as that dollars. And just sooner after that, what did George Lucas do? George Lucas, who had a license and has leveraged his movies so much, just because of the success and the brand it had created, that Star Wars is synonymous to science fiction and fantasy movies. He moved on to get the lucrative licensing deals with the toys and the video games and the live attractions. So later on, now he is again into brand building, because that is what is his strong forte into. His passion has now got into Starbucks. We know it's a cafe chain that he's running, and he has invested as much as 10 billion. So if your forte becomes into the brand positioning, which is also very important, because brand comes along with trust, right? So it's the name. First it's the name of the founder, first it's the name of the owner, and later it becomes a big name itself. And all we need in entrepreneurial mindset is to focus the energy and vision into the business acumen. Anything that takes up the company, or anything that takes up your enterprise to greater heights, should be the the goal. And own it. Take the ownership of it. The new market, sometimes it happens that for an existing product you could also have a new market, like constant exploring. And you are absolutely always challenging the status quo that you're into. Like, even if you have gotten to your objectives and goals and you are satisfied with that, even after that you're looking for some better place. Just for example, take the example of our Hong Kong based giant into wholesale merchandise, Jack Ma. So his when he wanted to list Alibaba in world listing of IPO, then he again had to face a huge, or the hardest challenge, I would say, because it is one of the biggest wholesale e-commerce site. And outside China, it really faced huge challenge, because the problems mounted that Alibaba, the corporate culture of Alibaba was running in such a manner that Jack Ma had very strong vision. he always has a very strong vision attached, and his controlling techniques of his executives is something that makes a lot of stories. So when a company would get into the public with IPO, the other challenges like management will crop in, because if someone has invested money into the company, would also love there to have a say into how the company is running. So that became a big challenge. And this you many a time it happens that the entrepreneurial mindset gives you the confidence, it gives you the necessary tools to reach out to the customer first. Many of the startups these days are doing so. It's just going the reverse. It's just the table turned, where instead of deciding on the detailings of the product, of course the your own talent and the main forte is there in mind, but then instead of deciding into details and working out the absolute planning on the launch and the market and which market segment to address and the product, it reaches out to the customer first. So this is happening a lot over the digital world, I know. Like, they find out the customers where the gap lies, and from there, like, just look at Huffington Post for that matter. uh, Ariana Huffington, she hardly had any exposure or much exposure into journalism, but she did. uh, Her is one which is in AOL now, and it's one of the most trustworthy media channels of news that's available over the internet. So reaching out to the customer first, and sometimes uh, when you are networking and you are in a position to um, come out with your ideas, share your ideas as an entrepreneur, uh, discuss more about the hiccups and the problems, and learn from other people's experience, not expecting anything in return, but just networking and ensuring that you have something valuable to add to their experiences or get back from them. Sometimes a magic happens. We have seen it, like, there's an international rapper, and he absolutely believes in networking. For he never ever thought that he's going to be a entrepreneur, but then he's holding the best of the studios now, with the best of the celebrities working with him right now. So has turned into an entrepreneur. Even if you see Oprah Winfrey, while he was doing TV shows, initially she started her career with some radio shows and some broadcasting, and she didn't have too much of experience into it. But then her entrepreneurial acumen came out with the confidence when she launched her own magazine, yes, of Winfrey Oprah. And now she has her own channel on which various TV shows and a production house also. So the mindset is, I think, is what is extremely important, and that is the first thing that needs to be set right, or which needs to be researched into. Since I love to research, so have tried to find out in various countries as to why entrepreneurship fails so much, or why is entrepreneurship such a big hit in these places. It has always been found out very interestingly that it's because of the culture, entrepreneurship culture. Even talk of India, like, there are zones. India is a big subcontinent, right? And it's developing through so many phases. So modern India has almost got the boundaries down, because every zone is now thinking in the same, because we are all united with the digital platform. No information is special to anyone. It's all it's not confined to the walls of states or zones, but we are as just simply as now I'm talking from Delhi, and the university, the audience primarily is from Chennai. So sometimes you really get very magical ideas when you are conglomerating with people, when you don't need to get into the formal MOU or any formal. I'm going to say networking gives a lot of ideas. So being with the right kind of people also really does a lot of brainstorming and gives a lot of idea. So over here, just the opposite of opposite idea is also holds true. There's a very intriguing theory that I always love to mention when I'm talking about entrepreneurial. It's not so much about entrepreneurial traits, but we are more trying to understand the culture that breeds entrepreneurship, or the idea which I was just telling you, the intriguing thought is that it's the counterintuitive cognitive that works in a person. Now you would see it is a bit into psychology now. Now you would see that a person tries to be with his own folk of people. We also say that the people who are together, they have the same kind of mindset. They are the friends, they are the pals. But it is seen that data says that when you are alone, you are being able to solve any problem till about 44%. Okay, so these are all researches done into. And then when you discuss the problem with others who have the like mindset, who are like you, as we say that the birds of same feather flock together. So with your friends, when you discuss that, the problem solving comes to some 54%, so gets increased by a 10%. You have a person who's an outsider. By outsider, it doesn't mean any stranger for that matter. It means someone who has an alien thought, someone who doesn't believe in your thoughts, someone doesn't share the same string of ideas which you have. So you need to convince that person, or but then it's a strategy that you have to share the problem with him. That is what psychology says. That is what counterintuitive cognitive is all about. So when you are harnessing or you are honing into yourself, you're nurturing an entrepreneurial mindset. Practically, please try this out for the next time. Get into a counterintuitive cognitive, when you will see that your mind and your intellect works the best. So when you have an alien mindset coming into and countering your logic, countering your pros and cons which you have thought of, okay, of the solution, that outsider comes in and your problem gets solved to as much as 75%. So this is what all research says, and these are all based on practical data of people who have done it, over case studies studied and statistics drawn in. So it's an excellent idea to always, when you're stuck at a bottleneck, it's always, that's what even many a time I told even my students who would be sharing in 2020, when the pandemic hit badly and the students were passing out and they were looking for jobs, and there was really a very big job crunch because people were losing jobs. Forget about getting a new job or any campus recruitment at that time last year. So many of them resorted, some of my students resorted to have their experience digitally, to start something digitally, and it was an excellent idea. So their line of thinking, they were just thinking in one process with the like kind of friends working in a group of one or two. I would get calls till at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night to that, ma'am, if you're free, we would love to say that this is what it is. I'm not being able to raise funds. So what to do? What do you think about this idea? So we would have lengthy discussions about it. And I found that when I would say that, see, you are only discussing with like-minded people as of now. Do you remember? It's not just something very theoretical. Try it out. Why don't you try it out? Just speak to someone trustworthy whom you think has got the experience of entrepreneurship and who understands your language, what you mean to say, and really trusts your passion. Okay, so who respects your passion, who respects your dreams. So you go and speak to the person who's experienced and an outsider, and you will really be able to see that when you are facing someone out of your comfort zone, you yourself do your homework so well, you yourself make your preparations, and you also prepared finding out to the detailed points. So there is where the Japanese concept of entrepreneurial mindset come in. When I've been doing a lot of research study into cases into them, to give off to my own students also, and to write publish papers into them, I found that they do a lot of counterintuitive cognitive, because they are ones who want to cover just opposite to what the European mentality or US mentality or Canadian mentality is, the Japanese, they absolutely want to cover anything that is uncertain, and for that they follow this intuitive cognito a lot, and that makes them well guarded, that makes them all the more confident. So it's that you have your dreams, you have taken the plunge, and after some time the energy seems to wane down, it seems to wane off, and you stand a bit taller when you have the confidence of learning from the challenges, right? So again, if you see that since childhood we have seen Hallmark cards. These days it's all soft, through e-cards. It's but the Hallmark cards were there in every city, every corner. And Joyce Hall, the person who, he had no experience either into entrepreneurship, he was just earning a bit of money up from his teenage at his own elder brother's shop, and he had the duty of taking care of the postcards, and he was sending postcards to certain places. And then when he came to Kansas, where he was working, that place got destroyed out of fire, and he had nothing to do. His employment was gone, his work was gone, and because of that he started, all he knew was to had seen the cards, had seen the physical cards, all he knew was to deal with the cards. So he started his own cards, and that small thing made a brand building, and he has carried his name worldwide. We all know of Hallmark cards. And so the quality, it's not about the technical know-how, it's not about the whether you are a first generation entrepreneur or it's a family entrepreneurship running. It's all about like, I will speak about my own experience over here. Like, I was into my own birthplace, which is Durgapur, and I went there just to show it to my toddler daughter, who was seeing the place for the first time, because my parents no more stay there. My father is an engineer and have been working with ABB, and after retirement he has went to his own city back in Kolkata, and we were there to see our my birthplace and my school and my township. So though I've been investing a lot and had some work experience in a real estate company, and in my family, of course, yes, my husband is also into real estate. So we had invested here and there because real estate was doing real good in the beginning of 2000s. So by 2008, when the depression came in, there was a global depression, if you remember, and the depression came in, everyone was losing of its job. I was into a full-time and a very demanding job in a university at that time, and at the same time had invested a lot in various real estate properties in all prospective places. So we thought of pulling out that money and putting it at one place and making a project just as a memoir, or what you can say is creating a memory. All of a sudden, within just at the flick of feel of instinct, you can see the gut feel that we were absolutely ready, that the company was formed, and with the partnership of my brother's best friend, his school friend. He was working. He was working at that time with an IIT pass out who had the technical knowledge of construction, because I and my husband, neither of us, we ever had any formal degree or any construction knowledge. We were just investing at certain properties, which many of us do. So with him, we got into, of course, family, friends, so the trust was there, and the taking up the risk at that time, even when it was not a congenial time for real estate project to start, and that too for you would see a first generation entrepreneur to start, and that to think of the remote place. Like Durgapur is an industrial town 1500 kilometers away from here, and this is you are stranded here with your full-time job and a toddler. So we still took a plunge, and automatically, it happened that I also personally, I had, since all my money what were hard earned from the corporate and which were put into there in that project, was at stake. So small problem could have halted, could have absolutely stopped the project, and so many projects were actually stopping here and there. But then, just not to think negative, but to keep on clearing with a lot of confidence. But it was a very, very learning experience for me, that it's a myth that you need to see that what is the right time, that the market is supporting your business or not, whether the market, this is the right time or not. Because we could understand very well that real estate is even going to, the graph is even going to go down, it's not going to rise. So all we had is the confidence in the thing which we are going to build. So it's a brand. And it gave us the maiden project itself, which is named on my daughter's name. It's Residency Ankita. They are standing tall and on the state highway, at a very premium place. So there we got a 200% return at that time, when there was absolute global meltdown going on. And just in 2014 there was demonetization. And well, so when you have your hard earned money invested into some project, what do? The first thing that came in my mind was that, oh my god, all the money that was there in Indirapuram in Delhi, all the money that was there in Nimrana, we had guest house I had guest house in Nimrana. So all those have gone into the project over there. So I'll try to build in more, I'll try to make more capital, and came out of the comfort zone. And even after my full-time job would get over, in my college where I was working, I leveraged my management classes got over, I leveraged my English knowledge, because I had got distinction from my masters in English. And I started teaching GRE and TOEFL students, engineering students who were trying for GRE and TOEFL. And that carried on, and it absorbed my evenings, it absorbed my weekends too. And already in the weekends, I would teach the executive MBA in two premier institutes here. And I would love to share, because they were all into job. So that's why sharing experience with the students who already have the management experience, know-how, is like adding up to your own journey of knowledge too. So it was a beautiful but then very fast paced and very hardworking phase that was going on. But then finally could make enough money again to go and invest. So that is how it goes. So it's a myth that you have to look into the right time. I will say that the right time for you to understand your time to take a plunge, or to go for diversification, or to start a new business, or to ramp up your business in a new way, or to add something to your product service, is something absolutely personal. It's very unique, and it's absolutely up to you. And so I would say that nothing can stop someone from becoming an entrepreneur. We have all seen that the pandemic has given us the hardest of the times, but at the same time, it has also been a boon or a blessing to many who were actually possibly thinking of taking up jobs, or who have lost jobs because of the pandemic, and they, started off with, the business, and they have found themselves, they have discovered themselves in a new way. So now, um, fast forward, this entrepreneurial mindset, it acts down to the basic. I guess it's the basic psychology of people. You will also agree with me when I say that if you are afraid of things, or if you're afraid of certain situation, you get into that fear more and more. The fear gets a grip on you. Okay. Yes. But then the more you are challenging yourself into situations, the more you would find yourself evolve as a more hardened person, a person who's more confident. You have the skill to handle the shortcomings or the emergent situations which are trying to pull you down in your business. So this is a passion which is needed. And many a time that they say, there are lots of stories which say that entrepreneurship, the passion word or the dream of an entrepreneurship is overrated. They say that alone if dream or alone if passion could have fetched you, the returns, then everyone would have become an entrepreneur. But this is again like something very intrinsic, as you have the intrinsic value or added to your own brand or to your own product. So if you just see that many a time, if you don't have the passion, it won't take you long enough. Like it can just be a makeshift idea for you to get into entrepreneurship, but then either you will be switching very liberally from one to the other. So it's necessary, it's never a wrong time to start with your entrepreneurship gears, to get into the gears, and it's never ever too late to start to. Yes, but wherever there's a hiccup or someone has a problem in getting the drive or getting the enthusiasm into the understanding the rocket science of what's the success to entrepreneurship, while into being into the business too, I would recommend you simply to fly the OODA loop. This OODA loop has become very famous, which is the fighter jet plane pilot mantra, right? What they do, OODA means OODA, which what they do is to observe these pilots of the fighter planes would observe, they would orient, they would decide, and then they act, right? So this OODA loop is such a loop where you would see that it would make you to have the reviews of whatever you are doing at a particular time, because when you're orienting and you're observing, automatically before you take further decisions. So basically in the fast paced life, the lifestyle that we are leading, and even in business, the digital things that we try on, then automatically this loop happens in such a manner that it's consecutively giving you confidence as to which hit and trial method is good for you and which one is not, right? So there are small goals, small objectives, and that helps you to keep you running, because the daily problems or the daily hardships of the whatever problems you come across will keep you pulling down, will keep pulling you down, and will keep asking you to just slow down your pace. But then everyone wants what's there in it for me. So yeah, if you keep that OODA loop going with orienting, and then focusing, and then observing, and then again deciding just to act upon as to what would be your next act, I think that's one of the best ways in which many of the success stories of even the Silicon Valley entrepreneurs are based. So I hope I'm not going overboard with the time. Yes. So, as I was just saying in the beginning itself, that there are um, lots of countries which are very friendly to startups, but then we are absolutely very privileged that our country, India, is ranked at the fifth best as the startup, friendly, with the startup friendly policies. So, the hand holding of the government is very strong, and all we need is to foster this mindset, is to support this mindset of the youngsters, not just talk about it, but then we need to share more of the success stories, of the failure stories. We absolutely need to talk more of the bottlenecks that all of us are facing. So I will wait to listen more of success stories from my students for sure. And all the best to all the students of MGR University. And I am very sure that the faculties of university would do a very strong gripping on the students to get this mindset ahead, because we are talking over here about the entrepreneurship culture, and it needs to be nurtured even more. It has to be economic problems, and everything will be addressed by honing this culture. So we have to wake up with more and more of stories of entrepreneurship being shared, And as I said, that networking through being the social entrepreneurship is a very good idea. So I guess that all of you who are uh, planning to get into entrepreneurship or who are already into entrepreneurship, I think that you should also be networking over the social platform. Yes, and there's one thing again attached to it that always I say: you have to see the return of investment. uh, Nothing is a mandate. Every It depends on the business, the kind of product that you are into, the kind of market that you are catering to. But then everything like networking through social media is good, but then you have to see the return on investment. The time that is allowed, is it really paying you back whatever time you have devoted to it? Because otherwise startups and entrepreneurs really can't afford to go out of focus, really absolutely can't afford to waste time, because there's a lot of introspection and there's a lot of physical networking that's of course required. So with that note, I would love to end up here speaking on the entrepreneurial culture and mindset. I can go on and on and on with lots and more other examples too, but we have to draw the inspiration from every kind of entrepreneurial story that comes, because apart from the journey that we are into entrepreneurship, it's also necessary for us to gain the gain the experience of the others. That's the second hand experience of their entrepreneurial journey. So that is what is important. So thank you so much. Over to you, Niveda ma'am. If I have not activated my chat box, so I don't know. Would you help me to know if there are questions or interactive, you know?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, dear participants, let's proceed with the question and answer session. So, ma'am, we have one question from Mr. Rohit.
Yes.
So, he has asked, how do countries develop integrative cognitive to overcome problems?
Yeah, right. Counter, okay. We are talking of, I guess, so first of all, hello, Rohit. Thank you for this question. How do countries develop? A counterintuitive, I guess. There was some typo error here. Counterintuitive cognitive you want to speak of to overcome problems. Yes. Okay.
I think so, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, see, counterintuitive cognito works on the basic psychology that when you are sitting with like-minded people, like say for example you have a very strong support from your business partner. A business partner doesn't think else way, the same ways as you think, or it's a family business, I want to say, with your brother or your anyone in your family for that matter. So when the like-minded people are sitting and they're thinking about a problem, you can only see one angle, or you could see only the angles which you want to see, right? About the problem. But then if you are at the same time, if you are uh, addressing the same problem that you're facing with certain other people who are outsiders, not necessarily strangers, not at all, of course, but the people who understand your passion, who are close to you, and you deal with them, and you see that they have a different thinking process altogether. They at times go to the very basic. You are possibly handling the
Huh?
problem at a certain level.
Clear,
Say
clear
for
आना
example,
दे.
your level is a higher level than what the problem needs to be solved at. The problem is still to be addressed at a very basic level, okay, maybe. So the person who's as an outsider who comes and who wants to understand your problem asks you certain very basic questions, and then you find that this is something you really didn't think about, that the problem lies in the basics, or the problem is there in the foundation itself, okay. So, also, while talking to the person, you do your homework very well. You do your homework very well, and you get prepared yourself as to counter that person's thoughts and counter that person's ideas. Isn't it so? So, that is how. when you discuss your business problems with outsiders who doesn't think alike, is not a like-minded person, many a time the problem gets solved faster. And data and research itself says that it's much higher. It goes to 75%, while individually you'll be able to solve as much as 44% of the problem.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So there's one more question. What is the threat in this field?
Yes. Okay. Ghanshyam, hi. The threat in this field, I have seen many a time is it's either a negative mindset, or it's many a time we really can't name it as to one or two, or we can absolutely can't label it that way. But then many a time it is negative mindset. It could be the beginning, that you want to, you dream, you have passion, you are working since long, your mind is not getting settled into your job. You just whatever work you are doing, job doesn't mean service over here, it means whatever work you are into, your mind is just not getting settled over there, but you want to really get off with your business, start with your idea. There's something that is absolutely bothering you, but then you're not getting the necessary support. You are not having the necessary support to go ahead with that. So many a time, the negative mindset or lacking confidence is what I have seen. um, Many a time becomes a big hurdle for entrepreneurship. Okay. And also at the same time, in entrepreneurship, we would also see that the fear, as I said, negative, so it's almost the same thing, the fear of failure. So whatever backup plans you have, you always have those, um, plan B to which we say. Yes, even then the backup plans are there, but still the fear of failure is one. So I was just addressing that this generation, I see many of the students and many of my friends who are absolutely into entrepreneurship. I've seen that they have started taking failures more lightly, and taking fail, what we say is failing wisely. Okay. All of us have watched for example, all of us have watched the movie Titanic, right? So in Titanic, what did you see? That it has been a long time, it was since hours that they were trying, and they were all drowning, and they were, what they were trying to do, they were trying to escape, and they were trying to put aboard the girl, the children, the kids, the young people, and the women together, the ladies over there. But then, what if this was a case which came out in HBR, and it gathered enough of attention after that, that Harvard Business Review was talking about this case study of Titanic, saying that what if the captain and the crew at that time decided that we can treat the island, the iceberg, as an island. There were lots of tabletops available. It was a huge ship. It was a royal place. So there were lots and lots of furnitures which could be shifted, kept aboard. Of course, it was chilling cold and it was difficult. But then, at least before getting into the water, either into the ship or being into the ocean there, if they could have tried to strand those people, treating positively, taking the enemy, at that time the enemy was the iceberg, right, as an island, because you have nothing in hand as of now. All you have is the iceberg in front of you that's floating, and the weight of those people wouldn't have let the iceberg go down, for sure. So failing wisely is also very important till the end moment. If you keep learning, take learning and take failures lightly, looking forward to some other plans, then I think the threat gets minimized. So the fear of a failure is a big failure. That's my observation. Rest, there are lots of other threats as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. There are no more questions have been asked. So with your permission, I wish to wind up this question and answer session. Ma'am, shall I?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for delivering a wonderful and an enriching session. Appreciation is the highest form of encouragement Our resource person, Dr. Professor Tanushree, has lived up to our expectations and has given her best to enlighten the participants with her deep knowledge and profound abilities. It is hence becomes a bound privilege and duty on behalf of our esteemed university to appreciate her for her selfless sharing of knowledge to the academic community. I now request Ms. Ramya, Assistant Professor, to display the appreciation certificate as a token of our immense gratitude. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Ramya. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. With that being said, Ms. Vasanti, Deputy Dean Academic Staff College and Assistant Professor from the Department of HRM, is eagerly waiting to express her gratitude to everyone who helped in the success of conduct of today's webinar. I hence invite her to propose the formal vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Niveda. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all. With these warm words, I would like to propose the vote of thanks. I would like to express my gratitude to our management for giving us the opportunity to conduct the webinars continuously. I extend my gratitude to our guest speaker, Dr. Tanushree Gulati, founder, AHSPL, who accepted our invitation amidst the multifarious activities. Thank you, Madam, for your exponential talk. I'm sure many minds would be ignited with a vision to become successful entrepreneur. On behalf of management, thank you once again, Madam, for your inspiring talk. I would place on records my sincere thanks to all participants registered in the program. I thank our joint registrar, Mr. Prabhu, and our Dean, Dr. Arunachalam, Dr. Sandal Kumar, for their constant encouragement and support. Thank our head of the department, Dr. Jayam, for encouraging us to organize programs. My thanks to Ms. Ramya, Ms. Niveda, Ms. Deepa for anchoring the program. As we end this program, we wish all our participants a pleasant evening and looking forward to seeing you all in our next program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, we are really overjoyed with the support you are rendering to all our programs. Thank you very much, as it because of we are able to organize many successful programs for the learning community. The feedback assessment form is available in the YouTube comment section. You are requested to complete and submit the form before 6 p.m. today. Later, the form will be deactivated. The e-certificate for participation will be sent to your registered email instantly. We have come to an end of the program. Hope everyone has gained knowledge. With the satisfaction of presenting a good webinar, we wish to sign off and meet you all in the next program. Don't forget to submit your feedback form and subscribe our YouTube channel, Dr. M.G.R. University Phase II Digital Learning, and also follow our department Instagram, Dr. M.G.R. underscore HRM 2019. We are also available in Facebook, Dr. M.G.R. HRM, and Twitter, Dr. M.G.R. HRM 2019, for further updates about our programs and videos. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Dr. M.G.R. Educational and Research Institute, University, Madurai, Chennai.